Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, doing my normal, but first, gotta get gas. This bike is running on fumes. Later on today, we'll probably do some more training with the missus. But right now, and gotta get this bike ready for work this week. So I go put some fuel in her, and then go hit up a hardware store for some other projects I was working on the house. But we're still getting this, lovely temperatures. It's like 75 right now. So it's a beautiful day to get out. This morning I was planning on actually getting up and trying to do like a sunrise ride over to one of our lakes. It's been a little bit of a jaunt to get over there, but I think it would have been a nice ride. Unfortunately, I didn't quite get myself moving fast enough and then got sidetracked with this project I need more hardware for. So since that's almost done, I figured I might as well get this actually completed today. But yeah, so basically we're still working on training and trying to get better at riding what we do, be safer, and have fun while doing it. Such a beautiful day out. It's almost too warm, ironically. And of course there's always construction out here right now. So I hope everyone's doing well. Hope people are being safe. I hope weather isn't being too dramatic and painful for you guys. I noticed some YouTubers I follow are doing some Vegas trip, it looked like, for one of the motorcycle brands. Wonder what their channel level has to be, or their influential level has to be for that kind of stuff. More out of curiosity than anything else, because I definitely don't have the vacation availability to go on tours all over the place. But yeah, speaking of like both training and vacation, the missus is hoping to do another champ school class, and so there's a little bit more vacation burned up. But hey, at least it's for training and learning how to be safer on the bikes. And for her, and maybe after that one, she'll start doing track days and go from there. But one thing that was kind of interesting recently we're talking about is that, like, the sitting position of each individual bike. So, I've had the Harley I started my channel with, which was, of course, feet forward on floorboards. The bars were a little bit higher, all that kind of stuff. There's some more sit back. Then I went to this one, the adventure bike, where you're sitting upright, your feet are a little bit of front forward, I guess, back underneath it though. Kind of a neutral spot on that part, but you're sitting very upright. And then the Valkyrie, I almost feel like those pegs are, it's just weird how like the pegs are kind of in the same spot, but they're kind of not. And I think what might be the bigger part of it is the actual bar setup, where this one's like a straight bar across and a little bit past my shoulder width apart. The Valkyrie's bars are maybe the same height, maybe a little lower. I have to kind of think about it, but they're definitely wider. So I'm not sure if that's what's causing that mental scenario of the different riding spots. But with that, the missus has her R7 and she has an R3, and we're hoping to use the R3 for her track stuff once she gets into racetrack or just track days. But now she's getting used to the R7's aggressive sitting position, that she feels like the R3 is kind of awkward, and now it's like, alright. So I started looking into parts for the R3 to try to see if we just, like, okay, if we switch the the foot pegs to more of a rear foot peg and get the clip-ons lowered a little bit more so it's more aggressive. You know, would that bike still be the best, you know, bang for the buck, spending, you know, a couple $100 on it, a couple hours of my time. So I searched and searched and searched for clip-ons for that bike, and it's like, I'm like, okay, what the hell is going on? Like, I found them for like every other bike but that one, and then I was looking more and more and more, and then like the ones I were finding were basically the same height as the ones that she had. I'm like, well, that's not what we're looking for. We wanted something lower. And then I found one finally. I think it was Woodcraft. I'd have to re-look for it again. But it goes, these are not set up for street, they're for racing purposes only. I was like, well, that's weird. Like, why are they racing purposes only? And this is like, oh, something might have to be modified on the bike for it to fit, and then it'll hit the main frame of the bike. I'm like, so I go and look, and on her bike, like where the bar is down here, there's a little cover piece there, and if you lower the handlebars, I'm thinking that the bars would hit that part because of the throttle control. So I'm like, well, I can't really spin the throttle control. I could almost cut out that or temporarily remove that cover piece in there, which would leave a weird gapping hole, which I don't know about that. But I guess for track, you know, you're not really doing you're not turning the bars that far. So I guess that's why it's track purposes only, because you're doing a lot of leaning and subtle turning. You're not doing the full bar lock on it. So like we do with the slow speed maneuvers and parking lot stuff. So I'm guessing that's why it's track only versus just general purposes. So I don't know, it's kind of a temptation to see if I could make it work, but I don't want to modify something if she's not going to like it and spend the money on it and time. So we'll see what she comes up with. We'll see what happens after this next class that she takes, and then see what if she still wants the R3 for that, or if we have to go bike shopping again and look at, I don't know, was it Kawasaki's, you know, 400 double R, or I guess that they have the 500 now, or the was it the Aprilia's got that 457 now that just came out last year. I think all those are more aggressive, but we'll see. It's just interesting how just, you know, you get so used to one thing that it's like hard to change back and forth. And like even me, like jumping on this bike and then jumping on the Honda is just such a different ride. It takes me a minute to you know, yes, the controls are the same, but like the bike's not the same. And the Honda's like probably 200 pounds heavier than this one is, give or take a little. But yeah, it's just so crazy how that like little bit of differences, you know, an inch here, an inch there, and like the bike has a completely different feel to it. Besides, you know, power and all that stuff, of course, but yeah, like those, just how that subtleness in the handlebars and the floorboards being slightly different angled. But yeah, what's your experiences with those types of things? Like the actual, you know, you thought a bike was great, and then you sit on a different one, you're like, maybe not. Maybe the sitting position of this one's better. And then you try to figure out whether or not you can switch the bike parts over to make the other one work the way you had it planned. I don't know. I mean, there's so many modifications on these bikes you can do nowadays. But then there's some things you just can't get around unless you are actually a fabricator, I guess, which I am not, so you get to make do or deal with what you can. Alright, well, I'm just going to stop in here for gas. I'll be back. Well, that took longer than anticipated. I was kind of surprised there was a car just sitting there in the middle of everything, just kind of sitting there with their blinkers on. I'm like, why did he's not getting gas? He's just chilling there. And he wasn't blocking a pump, he was blocking for people getting around other people. And then just left. It's like, were you just chilling under the awning? Is that the whole reason you were there for? Jeez. So, how's that awkwardness is done? One project done, on to my next errand to do. And continue on with the day. But yeah, as I said earlier, sure, and a little bit later on today we'll do our training again. And we'll see if I set up the camera again for that. Oh no, what'd you guys think of that added to that video last time? Granted, it was towards the end of it. Just kind of added a 2-minute video for trying to go around stuff. I think I'll probably do that tripod again so she can see how things are going. Continue on. Come on, light. I know it's not super hot, but it's feeling warm. Alright, get some airflow. So yeah, one of my home projects today was, I was watching another channel, and the guy does a lot of home mechanic, well, he's a mechanic, but he also does stuff in his home garage too, and he was showing his garage setup, and one of them was, you know, piping, hosing around the garage so your compressor could just stay in one spot. So I was like, well, that's not a bad idea. I mean, it's a couple bucks here for that. So I ordered the kit that he suggested, got everything set up, and then realized I need an adapter that I don't have sitting around the house to hook up the compressor to this hose line. So that is what I'm off to try to find. Hopefully I can find one, or I'll have to buy 2 parts instead of just one. But yeah, it's with that, since I don't end up, like, we bought the Fantic air compressor, the little portable one. I mean, I got it for when I take the bikes out for any type of distance. I can check the tire pressure, and I have a little repair kit with it also. But the wife actually prefers that versus the larger air compressor, so I'm like, alright, I'll just hook up the large air compressor around for power tools and just use the little Fantic thing to check the tires on the bikes in the car. So far it's been working out, so now that I got that other part set up, just one more step to get the garage cleaned up. And I still kind of want to put a lift in the garage too, just for the bikes, just to be able to play with. I just trying to figure out how to maneuver the spacing of all that and Jenga it all. I don't know. It might be a tight squeeze, but hey, what's the old term? If there's a will, there's a way kind of thing. That's what it might turn into. But with that, I'm off to my second destination here. Hopefully, there's a lot of debris on this road. Jeez. But thanks for coming along, spending some time with the channel. You guys be safe and have fun. Till next time.